All right, everybody. I couldn't get the Jitsi to work, so I'm streaming using OBS, which is a little more difficult, but I really can't see what I'm doing. But I know that it's working because I can see the chat box on YouTube. So if you want to talk to me, you type it in the chat box. And yeah, I mean, let me see if we got good. Tell me if I got good audio. I think there's a little bit of lag there, but yeah, it looks like it's going. I started another thread that was called Make Hay because that's basically what I'm doing. I'm at my real home now, and make sure I got audio. Yeah, I got audio. So while I'm here, I have all the tools, the wood, the glues, everything that I need to work. So I'll be here till Saturday morning. So I've got quite a few projects that I got to do. I do have some honeydews I need to do. I need to fix the plumbing and some things like that. But that's all right. I'll be able to get quite a bit done now. I realize that I haven't posted a video on this in a week, but I did progress. I've been working on an hour a day. So since the last video, it's been about a week. It's 7 hours time, somewhere in there. I basically have the wing all done. I have the wing tips done, the weight box put in. I have one of the landing gear blocks put in it, and we're going to do the other one. I did also make the lead out guide for it, and I think I left off on the last video where I had made the sheeting. I showed where I made the sheeting, but the wing's all complete. The bell crank's installed. The compression spars in there. I apologize for not doing many movies on it, but when I'm working, I'm just so tired at the end of the day. I really can't commit to an hour every day. So I'll look back and see how long we've been doing this video series. I don't think it's been a month. Let's see. Error. What do we got going on here? Frequency or 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent. Huh. Use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which will cause buffering. The current keyframe is 8.3. Note the ingestion errors can cause incorrect GOP group of pictures. So we got to use 4 seconds or less keyframes. Man, this is unbelievable, this stuff. So we got to go to settings, video, stream, video. Let's look at that. Keyframes. Output scale resolution. I do not know where to find that. General. Output. Snap. Sensitivity. System tray. I'm sorry, guys. They're advanced. Let's look at that. Video render. Replay stream delay. I do not see it. Duration, estimated memory usage, stream delay, sources, hotkeys. I'll try that. All right. Oh, that wasn't it. Close enough. Normal, render, video, render. Disable window auto ducking. Error. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Hey, Dave and Jack, hold on a second. I'm getting an error message. I'm trying to sort it out. I'll be back with you as soon as I get that figured out. Video, output, scale resolution, downscale filter. Video is currently active. Please turn off any outputs to change video settings. Output. There we go. Let's see if that's it. Sample rate, software, general file name. Warning, recording is saved to MP4. Huh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess I'm not smart enough to do this. Open stats dialog on startup. Okay. Show confirmation. Source sensitivity. I don't know. I should try it there. Apply. Let's try that. I don't know if we're going to lose it or what here. So we'll see what happens. Advanced. Override if exists. Replay buffer file name. Scaling. Where the hell is it? That's hotkeys. I don't know shit about that. Audio. 44. Output. Can you guys still hear me okay? Is the stream quality okay? Because like I say, it's error. Please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent. 7.9. Ingestion error 7.9. I closed it to 7.9. Okay, let's try it again. Settings. Advanced. Let's try that. 4 seconds or less. Okay. I'll try that. Apply. It says my stream health is good, but it's throwing an error code for some reason. Okay, whatever. But won't worry about the error message. Okay, I'll give you a weight on this. I tell you what, I'm probably okay, great. Screen quality. I don't know what the heck's with YouTube and OBS and all the BS. Anyway, I think this is going to be a little heavier than I had predicted. I'll give you some weights. I should be well under the 40-ounce mark anyway. I just put this on here so I can raise it up so I can see the scale. The wing as it sits here is 7 1/4 ounces. And I have one flap here that's not been sanded yet, but I have the other one that has been sanded. You put the flap on it. Ooh. 8.7 ounces. And then a horn, which I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose 25% of this horn anyway, but we'll see. 9 1/4 ounces. So by the time I sand the flap and lose the horn, add a push rod, add this other block here that we're going to add here right now to 9 1/2. It'll be a 9-ounce wing with the push rod, the hinges, everything. So you know that's not bad. My Viper 6, I think it was, that I flew at the Nats, was 49 ounces. And when I crashed that airplane, I took the wing out of it, and it was 16 ounces finished, including the paper, flaps, wing, lead outs, everything as you see here, only with paint on it. And it was 16 ounces, and that airplane was 49 ounces. So, and that was with a PA-65 in it. So this airplane here should come under the 40-ounce mark. That's what we're hoping for anyway. I'm going to use the Meslick wheel pants that I have, the unobtainium wheel pants, so I don't have to sand and shape them. But I'll go ahead and doctor them up so they look like they're the original Balsa Tucker wheel pants. And I do want to thank, I can't remember who it was who sent me a letter. I think it was Australia. I want to thank you for the letter. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I'm glad I could help you get focused on your building. Anyway, let's show you how I do this. And then that'll probably be it for the day. I'll show you how I do this one operation, and because everything else is pretty much repetition. You know, this building is pretty simple. Okay, I got a good scalpel here. What did I do with those pieces? Here it is. I'll tell you another thing that happened to me is I always, when I build these, I always screw up. I always drill the holes on the wrong section of one of the two blocks because I forget that they're reversed. But it's pretty easy to fix. Anyway, I plotted the position out for the landing gear block. Inside this is a foam leading edge. It's been hollowed, but there's two 16th inch plywood ribs in there. If you look back at the other videos, there was a big rigmarole on how to get this done because I had never built this, but this is the way to build a wing and not end up with a starved horse look on it, because you can't feel a rib in there because there is no ribs in there. Anyway, I got the door cut. We'll go ahead and cut this out here and excavate out the wood and the foam. Now, I do the wingtip weight box very similar to this. I've done probably 10 shots on how to do a wingtip weight box. Just look back through my how-tos. I really need to get with my YouTube channel and sort the how-to videos from the from the Hangout videos. Kind of making it easier for the guys to find. Anyway, do a nice job of cutting this out. You want a nice clean cut. That's why I'm using a brand new scalpel. They're extra sharp. Okay. Okay, here's the setup. You can see that there's foam on the leading edge. It's been cored so where it's only that thick. So there's not much foam in there. But it will offer a pretty nice stable environment for this. So I have to look here to see how this is going to work. So what I do is I make a mark on this where this plywood rib is. We're going to have, I'm going to have to get off, I mean, I'll be right back, but I'm going to have to do this off camera because I have to do it on the drill press. I mark where that plywood rib is. And it's right there. And this area right here is where the 3/8 motor mount's gonna sit. Right here. Piece of 3/8 motor mount will be glued right there where the pen line is. A hole will be drilled in that, and that's where the wire goes. And that piece of motor mount gets glued right to this plywood rib that I have embedded down in here. I want to take some of this extra foam out here so this thing will sit down in there real good. Kind of got to make sure you shake all these little foam kernels out of here, else you'll be flying along and you'll see white shit fly out of your airplane. Or you'll hear it rattle around inside there. I'll give you a look down inside there here in a second. Okay, so I only have a short distance on that one. Anyway, I don't know if you can look down in there. We'll see what happens. I'll have to hold it here for a second because I'm not, let me see here. Maybe I can turn back to the OBS screen. Yeah, there we go. All right. So if you look down in here, there's 2 plywood ribs. All right, it says we are in excellent condition now. Great. Oh, now it's an error again. I don't understand what the problem is. Anyhow, got kind of a close-up of that. I'll give you a close-up of the wingtip weight box that was done. That's done basically the same way. And then the lead out guides. Now I can see it's going to take some more sanding there. I'll probably have to put some Z-epoxy on it to harden it up in order to get it to sand out real nice. But as I stated before, because I'm not in a big rush to finish this airplane, you'll probably get a real nice finish on it. I'm going to find out what color the original was, and I have my Continental a tribute to Tom Ward, and I'll make this a tribute to Bob Tucker. So make it look like the original. And if I wasn't on the outs with Ron, I'd have him sign it, but I don't know what the problem is. Anyhow, so give me a second off camera. I don't have any commercial to go to or anything, but I'm going to drill a couple holes. I cut a piece of motor mount to glue on this, and I'll be back, 2 minutes. Let me turn the sound off so I don't drown you out. So we want to mute. All right, I'm back. We didn't take 5 minutes, just a few. Anyway, hey, that's how I can do it. I can put that there. Yeah, I can put that there, except I can't see if the stream's going. Put this over here. There we go. All right, I got it better situated. Okay, so I've cut the piece of motor mount, and we're gonna glue it on there. And while that's drying out, we'll just have a BS session. If you got a question, you can type into the chat box. You can do that. So let's see here. I'm going to use this to mix the epoxy on. It doesn't take much. By the way, don't forget, when you put your blind nuts in here, to epoxy them down. Otherwise, you'll be chasing them around the wing if you ever take the landing gear off. Okay, so we got that. So, like I said, we're making hay because I'm back at home. When I go back to Dayton, I'll go back with a completed wing. But if I hadn't brought my Jap tissue, I'd have brought it back covered with Jap tissue. I only use 5-minute epoxy. You know, some guy has slow set epoxy. You know, all I've ever used is 5 minutes and CA, and ever since the advent of these super glues, this is not a kit. Let me look at that. You won't find me build many kits. clamp this down. I'll read that question and answer it. Okay. The question is, do all Tucker Special kits have that type of wing? If I purchase a kit, could I do a built-up wing? Could I modify it to use an I-beam wing built to the same specs? This is not a kit. This is a scratch-built Tucker. This is a 1960s design with 21st century construction, with laminated carbon on the nose and geodesic ribs, but it's the same airfoil, the same wingspan. So the kits from RSM do not come with a foam wing. They come with a straight rib. Damn. With the original straight ribs in the wing. Yes, RSM has kits available for the Tucker Special, I believe. Walter Unlin may. I know there's kits out there. But what I found over the years, every time I built the kit, all you're getting is the patterns, so why bother? Because if you're going to build a light airplane, you're going to end up throwing the wood away. Because a kit manufacturer is in the business to make money. He's not in the business to make airplanes. And you can't fault them for it. It's just they're not hand selecting wood so that you end up with a 40-ounce airplane. They're in it to make money. So they use whatever crap wood they got. Some kit manufacturers are better than others, but so my suggestion is just get a set of plans and then buy the wood that you need. Make sure that it's all under 4-pound wood. Matter of fact, this type of wing, this is the first one of these wings that I've ever built like this. So when you say, can you get a wing like this? I stole the combat guy's idea that, I've seen these combat airplanes fly with a foam leading edge and then 2 or 3 ribs off the back and then covered with that clear tape, stuff, whatever they call it. And I thought, well, that's strong enough for combat. It should be strong enough for stunt. And I just was looking at all the airplanes that I got, like this airplane hanging up on the wall here, my Continental. It's nice, and you can't really see the scallops in the wing here, but when you get it in the sun and you start candling it and looking at it from the side, you can see scallops between the ribs on the leading edge. I hate that. It just, if I might as well build an I-beam wing. So I can't see, is it Miguel or whatever? The answer to your I-beam question is yes, you can build any airplane into an I-beam. You just have to lay it out and build the beam and cut the ribs and lay it out and go for it. The construction method is not what gets you. They want you to have the same nose moment, the same wingspan, the same amount of area, the same flaps, and basically the look of the airplane. So you got to have a plan. Do I need a set of plans? No. Do I need a set of numbers? No. But the amount of airplanes I've built in my life, it's not fair to compare that with somebody who hasn't built that many, because you can't say, well, here, build me this. Do we have still good stream picture and sound quality? Because I still throwing that error code. I might have to do a software update. Okay, Mike. Still good sound picture quality? Anyway. Almost ready to sand and drill this piece here. I gotta wait a few more seconds. So I need to measure down here because I can't have this thing hanging up into the lead out area. I only have about 3/8. This is half, so I gotta cut an 1/8 off of it. Okay, that's good. Now I didn't have to do this, didn't have to cut it down on the outboard side because there's no lead outs passing here. However, I did trim off the angles here, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I guess while I'm waiting on that, I can get the blind nuts ready. Need a couple screws, a couple washers. Okay. Take heed when I tell you. Make sure you epoxy these blind nuts in. Because I have learned my lesson on that. I have built a model where I didn't do that, where I used CA. And they popped off because CA is brittle. And went floating around inside the airplane. I had to do surgery to chase them. Not a good thing. Boy, that welding burn sure screwed up the end of my finger. Okay. All right, we got 6 watchers, 4 likes. Appreciate it. Help the channel grow by giving it a like, sharing the videos, telling your friends. Even if you think I'm not doing it right. And if you think I'm not doing it right, tell me how to do it better, because I'm willing to learn. As far as camera work goes, I'm a one-man show. I got nobody to help me. I went to live stream so I didn't have to spend an hour editing after I get done doing an hour building. Because YouTube channels are in it to make money. I'm not in this to make money, or else I'd do more professional videos. I'm in this to help you learn how to do this. Okay, I pulled the blind nuts in. Back the screws out until they're flush. For 2 reasons. One, you got something to hold on to while you set it down in the hole. And 2, you don't get any threads down in the blind nut when you put the epoxy on it. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to, where those lines are, I'm going to put it on my disc sander and sand that down. The height mark is so that it misses the lead outs, and the angle mark is so that I take a little weight off of it. So I'm going to shut the audio for a second. I'll be right back. It'll take less than a minute. Okay, we're done. What I did was sanded it off, and I went ahead and drilled a hole in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me turn this other light on to get some more light on the object. Yeah. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, I can't have enough light. So I got a hole in it. It's a little bit off center on the back, but it'll be fine. We're building a model airplane, not a watch. So anyway, test fit it. We have a little something holding it up there, glue. Let's see if that. Perfect. Yeah, it could go back that way a little bit. So I had a ruler with some sandpaper on it. There it is. That foam can be something else. Make sure you get all that foam out of there, else it'll be spitting it out the wingtip or something. Okay. I'm sure that there's other ways to do this. This just happens to work for me. Okay. Mix up some epoxy. I think I got a little bit not cooperating right here for some reason. Oop. Excavate a little bit of foam. No, I didn't have to cut that down any. Now, you'd think it's up against the wood spar, but it's not. It's off the wood spar probably 1/8 of an inch. And you say, well, how are you going to get it to lock in there? Well, that's the important part about doing it this way. Okay, let's mix up some epoxy. Now this time we're going to mix up quite a bit. Anytime you're doing motor mounts, landing gear, wing mounting, hinges, don't be afraid to use the epoxy. And do not use canopy glue as hinge glue. Take that from the voice of experience. I lost one of my Thunderbolts using that stupid canopy glue as hinge glue. Flap flew off on top corner of the hourglass. It did a barrel roll and rolled into the center of the circle from the top. Missed me by 5 foot. I just watched it melt into the concrete. I wish I'd had a camera. It was a hell of a crash. I never had a crash like that. Because the Thunderbolts were built very similar to this, you know, not much wood, you leave the parts out. Okay, so this is the surface here that goes up against the plywood rib. You want to put a lot of epoxy on that. Make sure you get your epoxy on your blind nuts. And then put some epoxy on top of the plywood ribs. Now this would probably hold this in here, but because sometimes landings can be so violent, and you know, not everybody lands a 40-point landing all the time, especially if you're going to fly in grass. We have to lock this in here somehow. Okay, I'm going to let that set, and I'll show you how I lock it in. Oh, man. This is really a good way to do things, and this is not my idea. This is Bob Hunt's idea. Give credit where credit's due. I saw that on one of his videos in about 2000. I go, hey, I got to have removable landing gear, because I used to, you know, I've done wing blocks, but nothing with a wing door. where it only takes 2 bolts to hold the landing gear on. I would use those, RC landing gear blocks, or I built a lot of I-beam wings where the wings were J-bolted to the spar, or of course the carbon fiber fuselage gear. But as far as wing gear goes, this is the best way to do it because A, you can work on the wheel pant off the airplane, and B, when you paint this, put this on a paint stand, you don't have the landing gear in the way when you're spraying it. So this is super good way to do things. I will try to have the frame rates and things figured out on the next go around, but I could not get Jitsi to play, not at all. So while we're sitting here, we'll just have a discussion. You can tell I've been working in the shop. I'm full of dust. I gotta wait for this glue to dry before I can do anything, and it's still pretty wet. So any questions? Type it into the chat box. I'm looking at chat on one screen. Well, there is quite a bit of a delay. My broadcast window moves, and 10 seconds later the YouTube moves. So we got about a 10-second delay. Hey Jeff, I called over to where the motor is, not where your motor is, but where the one you sent me is, and Jerry said it looks great. It's froze up, but it looks like it's never been mounted. But that's okay because I'm going to take it all apart and put that Brian Gardner ABC liner in it, and a new set of bearings. It'll be like a new motor. So thank you. When I get back to Dayton, I will send your Fox 35. I don't know, last week I just didn't feel like doing much. That's why there was no video on the Tucker posted. But I'll get it out to you. I ain't forgot you. It'll come U.S. mail. Not going to come FedEx. I don't know why you sent that FedEx. But yeah, it's starting to set up now. I'll cut the pieces and show you how to lock it in there. I'll see if I can get a better camera angle. I don't know. See, the problem with this live stream and stuff, the cord is only so long, the bench is so wide, I can't get on top of it, and the cameras aren't that good. So you kind of get what you get. All right, so let's cut the pieces to lock this in. Let me move this stuff out of the way. Maybe I can get you a better view of what's happening. That and there's never enough room. I don't care how big your shop is. John has a huge shop, and he got a big bench, and there's never, I mean, his bench is twice this size. Well, a third this big. Mine's 5 foot by 4 foot, and his is, I think, 5 by 5 or 6 foot. I don't know. It's pretty good size and a big square piece, but it doesn't matter. It's a big glass bench in the middle of the floor. And when I go over there, every bench is filled with crap. His cutting table, this sanding table. Not when we start the bench, but by the time we're finished at the end of the day, there's crap everywhere. There's never enough room. Okay, so let's see if we can't get a better look at this. I don't know, it looks like it's out of focus now. Yeah, there it comes. This stupid thing. Okay, so inside here, I have the pad that I glued into those plywood ribs. No, I use Casminato carbon fiber tanks or clunk tanks. And the reason why I use those high-dollar Japanese carbon tanks is that they're so light. But they're expensive. Okay, so now this is rock hard 10-pound balsa, like pine. Let me move this. Okay, I'm going to shut the sound off for a second. I got to rip this with my table saw. Let's see here. Where is it? Right there. All right, I got that done. Yes, I mean the Sullivan clunk tank. All right, like I said, this is rock hard 10-pound 5/16 balsa. You can use 3/8, you can use quarter, but you want the hardest pieces you can get. I mean, it's like basswood. It's ridiculous. And you want to run it with the end grain running up and down this way. So put it over there, make a mark. I'm going to use 2 pieces, one for each end. Make sure you get the the piece square so that your plug, your door fits down in there square. Otherwise, you'll have an oddball looking door. I cut it too big. Too big is better than too small. Okay. Now I draw on it here. I'm going to go cut that on the bandsaw. You see, we're only going to cut a piece, 1/4 inch, or yeah, a little over 1/4 inch. You want to leave this sticking up above the wood. Sticking up probably 1/64 of an inch. And some CA. Have to stop tomorrow and get some CA. I'm out. Ooh. And what do I do with the extra piece? Now I just turn it over on the other side for the extra piece. A little bit too big on that side, so that's okay. You want all these pieces to fit real tight because this takes a lot of stress. So, gotta trim that off on the bandsaw. I also have to sand a little bit on the face of this. It's a little short. So I'll be right back. See, when I'm at my other place, I don't have all these tools where I can just whip this out super quick. So everything I'm doing there is by hand. And it's a little frustrating to me. That's close enough. So we got the grain running vertical. Glue it onto the sheeting. Now, if this were an all-wood wing, I'd be gluing onto a rib there. But I've done them like this for so long, it doesn't much matter. Okay, now, because I set my equipment up to run with the least amount of parts, I'm only going to line this with 16th front and back. You know, if you want to make your hole a little bigger, inch and a quarter, inch and a half. You could line it with, you know, accordingly with 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch or whatever, but I just use a 16th. I've never had one of these fail yet, so till it does. I used to put 4 screws in these until I realized, hey, that's overkill, way too much, so we'll leave half the screws out. Just use 2. So one of these in the back here. As I state, use a square. It's a pain in the rear, but you'll be a lot better off in the end. Fits better on the front. Now I just eyeball it for perpendicularity, but if you have to be, you could make a little square, but I don't. Whew. Cyanide. Cyanide. Well, it's just as I thought on the vaping. You know, I'm vaping now instead of smoking. They've had all these vaping deaths. It ain't because of vaping nicotine, it's because of vaping marijuana, THC. So, once again, they're going to do some knucklehead can't, you know, got to ruin it for everybody. Just like I got a email from the AMA, we need your help. I don't know if you guys got those. For drones, I could care less about drones, to be honest with you. They ruined it for us already. Okay, so now we have this, all this business here sticking up. I just take my knife, we'll cut it close. If you're not used to cutting, or some of the things that I do, don't do it like I do it. You know, I got a lot of practice doing this. Do yourself a favor, tape things off, put guards on things. You know, I realize that I make it look pretty easy, but you could do a lot of damage with a slip here. Rip! There it goes. Okay, now 180 grit sandpaper on a block. Tape this off if you're not used to sanding. Otherwise, you'll grind into your sheeting. If you're a good sander, you can hear the sandpaper change tone. Remember, this sheeting is only 1/16 of an inch thick, so if you screw up, you know, this, for some reason, everything about model airplanes is one shot. You only got one chance. Did you hear it change tone? I doubt it. I don't think the microphone is that good. But it changed tone the minute that I got down level with the 16th. A little bit right there. Now I was using 180 there. 80 grit on this to knock some of the high spots down, but you don't want to get too close to the sheeting with 80. 180 to bring it down. It changed tone on me. And now we go to 320 on a longer block. If you listen, you'll hear it change tone again. There it went right there. Now remember, I was sanding on this with 80, 180, and 320, and I'm going to do a close-up here if the camera will do it. And I want you to show me a scratch in that. Nope. It ain't there. It's perfectly flat. And we're going to make the door. I'll probably end the stream and make the door off camera because it's a pain in the butt. But we'll make a door. I already have the back cut out for it. I just have to, here's the back. Glue a piece of wood to it, trim it to shape, set it down in there, bolt it in, and basically do the same thing. What I normally do is I take a knife and cut quite a bit of it off, and then take 80 grit and bring it down close, then 180 and listen for the change, and then 320, and it's finished. And you know, it's probably 10-15 minutes worth of work to do that. But I get real worried about what I'm showing on these videos because it's basically repetition. I mean, I've done it over and over and over again. I don't know what you guys need to know. Nobody's ever, you know, sent me a list. Because if you look at my YouTube channel, there's everything on there, such as wrapping lead outs, setting up a clunk tank, even stunt design. That's in the Nobler stunt design video. So, I don't know. I can't tell how long we ran. I think we ran about an hour. This wing's basically done, except for bend the horns and hinge the flaps. I gotta sand the flaps. If you guys remember, I've talked about this sanding block here. I might bring this with me. This sanding block here, this piece of sandpaper is 25 years old. At least 25 years old. And it still works as good as the day I got it. Because it's number 36 body. It goes on an air file for a body shop. And Big Bill Auto Body, which 2 streets over, I used to paint my motorcycles and stuff. I use his spray booth. I said, Mark, can I have a piece of that sandpaper? He said, sure, take all you want. I said, no, 1 sheet will be all right. And I know it was, let's see, it's longer than 25 years. It's 20, 27 years ago. 27 years ago, I took one piece, I put it on there. This is 36 grit. It just rips the wood off. But because the wood is so soft, I think this thing will last my lifetime. One piece of sandpaper. So anybody that's buying 36 grit sandpaper for model building, don't buy more than one sheet because you won't need it. And I use that all the time. Are there any questions before I shut the stream down? I got 9 viewers, only 6 likes. Please give me a like, thumbs up, share the video. Our channel is growing pretty good. We got 2,111 members now on the channel. It's it's not a million like it could be, but I'm not exceptionally funny. All right, I guess I'm going to shut her down. Thanks for watching. Check back from time to time. I can't make a promise on when I'll do another Tucker video. I might do another one before I go back, but it probably won't be till I get back in Dayton on a Tucker video. And then I try to do them on Tuesday. I realized tonight I did a little early, about an hour early, but that's because I'm in a different time zone here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you on the next video. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.